Well, we're learning more about the potential impacts from those recent changes to federal tariffs, specifically electricity. Despite the 1-month delay on North American tariffs from President Trump, Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced a 25% tariff on electricity in 3 states, including New York. Natalie Kutchko joins us with reaction. Natalie.
Teresa, there is a lot of uncertainty across the board as to what exactly the financial impacts will be for the average consumer here, as this has been a changing matter seemingly by the day. New York State gets about 5% of its electricity from Canada, though experts say the changes to prices aren't expected to be drastic. That is at least for right now. Brian Lester serves as Chief Investment Officer for Rochester-based wealth management firm Howe & Rustling. He breaks down the latest announcement from Ontario's Premier to impose a 25% tariff on electricity for New York, Michigan, and Minnesota in response to the president's latest delay on federal tariffs.
Because of those small percentages and the ability of power companies in New York State to get electricity generation from other states, there's not likely to be an enormous impact on electricity prices. However, if tariffs that President Trump levies are increased further, Canada has threatened to increase those export tariffs more, or even to cut off electricity exports to New York State entirely. So there is a risk that this escalates further.
With the day-to-day uncertainty, Lester says there will likely be a negotiated settlement here, that some of the tariffs may remain in place. He says part of the strategy is likely to negotiate a better trade deal that's fair to the U.S.
It's important to understand that while prices will likely go up over the course of the year in which those tariffs take effect, it's not a permanent price increase year after year after year. So there's a one-time upward adjustment, and then unless the tariffs are increased further, once that's annualized, there's not an ongoing inflationary impact.
And looking ahead, Lester also points out the importance of grid balancing as it relates to the potential impacts.
So even though Canada is a net exporter of electricity, they rely on imports from the United States to balance their grid. There are variations in how much electricity is produced, the type of electricity. There's variation in demand. And so it's really important for grid reliability for that trade to work as it should.
Now, previously, a spokesperson for the New York State Independent System Operator, or NYISO for short, told News 8 in part of a statement, quote, the U.S. and Canada have one of the most integrated electric grids in the world, allowing system operators in both countries to pool resources for both improved reliability and economic efficiency. Going on to say, quote, the NYISO anticipates having adequate supplies to meet that expected demand on the system. As this is constantly developing at the federal level, be sure to stay with us here at News 8 for the very latest on air and online. Reporting in studio, Natalie Kutchko, News 8.